how do you get a doctor outside of MPN? So for those that don't know, Medical Provider Network is MPN, and that is a network of doctors the insurance companies use to control medical care. If you're hurt at work, you don't just get to go to Kaiser or your normal doctor. Ultimately, you do have to stick within these MPNs if they exist. Oftentimes, the MPNs are terrible. They are filled with insurance-oriented doctors. There's limited specialties and availability, and really you don't have much of a choice. You're kind of choosing the best of the worst in a lot of circumstances, and it's really bad for you. And so a lot of clients want to know, how do I get my way out of this network so I can go to a doctor that I can get quality care from? And really, there's a number of rules that govern MPNs. And at the heart of it, the MPNs have to be valid, which means that they have to have enough doctors and enough specialties to see injured workers in their local communities. And so oftentimes we're able to get out of network when an MPN is deficient, meaning that there are not enough doctors there to treat the injured worker. And there are special requirements that dictate how many doctors and specialties that need to be in the MPN. But more often than not, the adjuster won't just roll over on the issue and say, oh, you know what, my MPN is not good, so cool, you can go treat with whoever you want. We really have to drag them to court 9 times out of 10. We have to file petitions for penalties and sanctions, and sometimes we actually have to go to trial on the issue and get the judge to order it. So it's not as simple as just asking, but you do want to do your due diligence. You can research the MPN and determine whether or not there are doctors within a certain geographic radius and within a specialty to treat my conditions. Other times, if doctors simply refuse to treat you, that's another reason why you can go outside the MPN. The MPNs are notoriously outdated, and oftentimes there's doctors in there that maybe don't even practice anymore or refuse to take work comp. And so the insurance company will try and say they have a valid MPN, but in reality, they don't have any doctors on there to treat patients. And so that's another reason you can get outside the MPN. Another common reason is oftentimes there are injuries that are specialized, catastrophic injuries or specialized conditions. And really the MPNs are not designed to treat those conditions just because they don't happen that often. And so really the MPN itself is deficient because the physicians there aren't qualified to treat the injuries. And typically we see these with catastrophic injuries, multidisciplinary injuries, where people really do need that higher level specialized care from specialized facilities that the MPN occupational medical clinic can serve. So that's another reason that we typically see people going outside of the MPN. At the end of the day, MPNs are very difficult to deal with. They're cumbersome. Sometimes the doctors aren't great, or they're under pressure to perform and not really cost too much money for the insurance carrier because they don't want to lose business. They don't want to get kicked outside of the MPN and not be able to serve work comp patients anymore, which we typically see a lot as well. So really, it's kind of a juggling game. And at the end of the day, we do want to make sure our clients are with the best doctors to the extent possible. And so in my firm, we always do make sure the MPN is valid. And if not, we do our best to get patients out of there right away.